Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now, sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to this night 2 edition of the Final Drive, the Red Kingdom Media Big Game Spectacular. And tonight's guest, we got a live chat with Larry Clopton of Slab KC Barbecue. Man, how are you doing this evening?
Hey man, I can't complain, man. I appreciate you having me on. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to get the conversation with you. Been saying it pretty much on every content I put out. I'm taking every day one at a time. I'm not trying to jump to Sunday and be like super restless about it.
Right.
Pretty much just taking whatever media gives us and opinions we get, different Chiefs memes we see in our groups, all that, man. Just living in the moment. That's my
understandable, man.
today. Yeah, so for those new, we're gonna start off with some Chiefs Kingdom related questions. Basically, how long have you been a Chiefs fan for?
I knew I became a fan when I felt real feelings when they benched Rich Gannon that year. And when I began to really become a fan was when we had Larry Johnson and that beautiful front line and stuff like at one point in time, Larry Johnson was my favorite football player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had the jersey, played with him on Madden. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing about 27.
You were a fan of the running game most of that time?
Oh, yeah, I was.
A lot of great running backs in Chiefs history, especially when you're getting into that offensive line. You might spoil one of the questions I already have for later, but that offensive line was incredible. Imagine just like Willie Roaf added on with everybody else on this line, just
right.
How dominant we'd look.
Yeah, we'd be running through everybody.
Yes, sir. So I think I don't even have to ask this. You're a local KC fan, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Born and raised.
Have you gone to many Chiefs games in your life?
I have, and also I do travel to a few of the. I have traveled to a few of the takeovers out of the city. So to go to another city and take over their city, it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, no doubt. Fortunately, it didn't seem like a lot of Chiefs fans made the trip to Vegas. At least the early part of this week, it seemed like a lot of the Raiders fans took over that building and had something to say about the Chiefs. I really hope by the end of the week it starts looking at least 50-50 or more of the Chiefs fans coming in later in the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be there in full supply by Thursday or Friday.
No doubt. So what are your game day routines you like to do when either watching or going to a Chiefs game?
If I'm watching at home, I'll just make sure I have something to eat, kind of relax most of the day because I know my heart's going to be racing for 4 quarters. So for the most part, man, I take a real calm, slow approach to game day, almost like when I was playing back in the day. You know what I mean? Just thinking about the opponent, how they'll be able to shut down offensively and defensively and stuff like that, man, and just hope that we come out with the dub.
Yeah. And we kind of got into this the start, and before we got into it, you're a barbecue man. So is that a big part of your game day routines, regardless whether you're watching at home?
It really is, but for the most part, I'm cooking for somebody else. Like, I rarely even get to eat my barbecue nowadays. You know, it's brisket, slabs, wings, a little bit of everything for everybody else. So, it's a Kansas City thing. You know what I mean? And that's just my little piece of it. So, I won't say I have the best barbecue, but you won't be disappointed.
Right. That's the best part about barbecue. It's for sharing. It's not just for one person. You get the pounds of meat and share it out. I saw you were doing a lot of church functions too. That's really awesome.
True indeed. Appreciate it.
Of course. So let's say Chiefs gear for a game. Are you rocking a certain jersey? You mixing it up based on the feeling? How do you look? Where are you preparing yourself when the game finally kicks off?
So normally I'll do like a regular T-shirt, but last week I brought out my autographed Christian Okoye jersey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
That's hitting childhood me right in the field right there.
Yeah. So I brought that out. I brought the 035 out. So I'll probably be doing that again, man. It's been good luck, and they balled out last week, so I'll probably do that again this week.
Heck yeah, get some Isaiah Pacheco, get some juice from Christian
Right,
Foot.
right,
Talk about the same play style and a different body type.
right,
If Isaiah had the size that Christian had, oh man, you couldn't be able to take that boy down.
Yeah,
Let alone the way you run now.
It would be lights out. It would be lights out.
Well, that's awesome. So if it worked last week, you definitely have to wear the same thing again, no doubt.
Most definitely.
That's a superstition a lot of us have been following. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So if this being the Super Bowl, is there anything you're doing extra special or extra this year to this game than you did, a couple weeks ago, so to say?
Mainly getting up in the morning. 4 a.m. I'm gonna fire the smoker up. My family wants food, and a couple of friends want food. But other than that, just waiting on the start of the game. You know what I mean? I'll be thinking about. I'll probably be watching old games on the Fire Stick or something, and just waiting for kickoff.
Are you like the peak energy level high as soon as you wake up, and it just kind of feels like a level drop until right as game starts, and then you bounce all the way back up again?
Well, I'm kind of like how can I say this? A quiet storm. Like I look real still outside, but I'm trembling on the inside. I mean, it's I almost feel like I've suited up and I'm about to hit the field myself when I'm watching the game. So I'm really like not the best person to watch a game with because I'm studying, I'm watching technique. I'm sitting there yelling at Pat like, "Hey man, like I understand you love Kelsey." Well, my man was open 5 yards down the field. So
right.
So yeah, I'm studying the game a lot and stuff like that. So
that's cool. Yeah. I know I'm definitely an opinionated person when I watch a Chiefs game, especially if I'm in the stands. Definitely get a lot of looks at me based on every single thing that goes on the field. But I'm just as locked in as the players are. So.
Right.
Got that energy. I got to get it out somehow, man.
You got to, man. You got to.
All right. Well, I kind of teased this question earlier. If you could bring back a past Chiefs great for this 2-part question, for the first part, if you could bring a past Chiefs back for just this one Super Bowl game, who do you want on this team?
Man, but there's a lot. I think the way the league is now, Derek Thomas will probably have a field day.
Ooh. The Derek Thomas and the Neil Smith Super Bowl that we didn't get in the exact same way, where the defense piece of that would be you got me excited for that one.
I think Derek Thomas will be unstoppable right about now.
Fact. Okay, so besides him, let's say you have a player in their prime for the next 5 years. You get to finish the rest of the 2020s decades, try to double the amount of Super Bowls Chiefs already got. Who else? If it's Derek Thomas, cool, but who else, in your opinion, makes us that much good for that much longer?
Eric Berry.
Ooh, prime Eric Berry. Talk about a ball hawk.
Yes.
That's no kidding. That's the one thing that this Chiefs defense could arguably need. Like the Marcus Peters, you don't want them to freelance because they might give up something, but just to be able to catch the ball, it's a tough defensive back trait. Unfortunately, that's why they play that side of the ball, the joke is.
So, I'm kind of on the fence about the interception thing because we cover well and we tackle well. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll take that over a ball hawk because ball hawks, they typically do take chances. And Fair. When they take chances, there are big plays. And we do not give up a lot of big plays. So I'm kind of satisfied with our safety play and DB play right now in that regard.
If you can have defensive backs play like a Revis, where it basically doesn't even look like they get thrown at, that's how good they are, not getting tons of stats. Their stats are the fact that they're not showing up on game film of highlights from the other team. So
Right.
That's no doubt. So you started as a fan 2000s. Obviously, we've gone through a lot of ups and downs since then. So how did you stay true to the kingdom in those down years? How did you maintain, some sort of hope that eventually things would improve? And who imagined that we would even reach this level at this point?
Well, for one, we were getting cheap tickets. So we were able to go see the games, Tyler Thigg, Penn Days, Brody Kroll, and all the rest of them. Like, we were club level seats almost every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just living through that, I mean, you just hope that one day, like, I never thought that we would be here, like, every single year competing for a Super Bowl and all the rest of that. So, I know everybody had their doubt this season, but for me, it was just like, man, like, this has been the best coaching that I've seen in this organization, even through the tenure of Andy Reid. Like, they found their identity. They knew that the offense wasn't the strong part of the team anymore, and they lived off the defense. And man, that was a hell of a coaching job by Andy Reid and Spags this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially when periods of time looked like it wasn't like going to improve, and we all kind of felt insane that the coaching staff was convinced that everything would just work out and use the same players they already have. We're just like, are you sure?
Right.
But I mean, hey, if playoff MVS can teach us anything, just don't believe something for too long. You can always have somebody surprise you. That's for sure.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Okay, and my final Chiefs-centric question for today: who is your favorite current day Chief, and who is your favorite all-time Chief? You said Larry Johnson. I got the same jersey hanging up as well.
My favorite current Chief, you know what? It probably switches from year to year, but this year, to me, I mean, has been Pacheco. He's brought a different level of attitude to a finesse style coaching staff. Like, he's a sledgehammer, and I love the attitude that I love how hard he runs the ball. I know he won't last long, but while we have him, just keep doing your thing, 10.
But both of those I completely agree with. The first part, happily, because he's been, in my mind, I said it last night, I'll say it again, my offensive MVP. In times when things weren't working out or didn't look like things would work out, if you believed that Andy would run the ball with Pacheco, good things would happen. And it seems like they've at least continued that mindset, and the passing game underneath that has been able to improve since then, because it's not been like the sole focus in how things have worked. So
true, very true.
I feel you there. And then, it sucks because we love Pacheco and we want him on this team forever. But the fact that he's already had this many injuries and he's a running back, we all kind of know the writing on the wall.
Right.
So we know it's not going to last, but it's like, gosh, can we just treat him a little nicer? And Pacheco, could you just not look as violent when you run? Like,
right.
I know it looks like you're hurting others, but eventually you're hurting yourself in some regards. So
that is true. That is true. That is true.
If I could have Pacheco for the rest of the decade, if he could survive that, he's the Kareem Hunt back that the Chiefs have always wanted. And the fact that we had Kareem Hunt up until like December of that Super Bowl run, and then just went on this run without that quote dominant running back, and Damian Williams will always get his flowers, as he should.
Always.
But if Kareem Hunt was in that Super Bowl and the Chiefs played that like run it hard Kareem Hunt and then surprise him with the pass, I don't know, maybe we would have been in for a more lights out Super Bowl, and there wouldn't be those early doubts and concerns that Mahomes struggles in the postseason or in Super Bowls or whatnot.
That's true, but I know like Mahomes, he's a baller, and he wants the ball in his hands. But it's like the maturation process that I've seen of him this season is like, okay, well, as long as I take care of the ball and strike when I have to, this defense is going to keep us in the game, and they can overcome pretty much anything, and they've done that. You know what I mean? So just the
Yeah.
adjustments on the when they cut down the rotation of the receiving core, you know, when they went to just Rice, Tony, Watson, and those guys, I could tell they were all right. They knew who they could be successful with and who they couldn't. So it was almost like, man, they pretty much spent most of the season treating it like preseason, and that's like a big slap in the face to the rest of the league if you think about it.
Yeah, and the fact that it was that Christmas, and they're like, "Oh, we finally woke up at Christmas." It's like, I thought we woke up like in Thanksgiving or early December. Like, Andy's gotten, like, I don't know, complacent enough to think he can just kind of screw around until the end of December and then put it together. I mean, it's worked, but I mean, none of us were truly like 100% certain they would turn it around because, I mean, they hadn't shown us enough proof of that lately.
And so with me, I always knew that they were going to peak late in the season because, you know, you really don't want to show your hand throughout the regular season. Offensively, you know what I mean? You really don't want to roll into the playoffs and everyone knows what you're going to do. So when they cut down the rotation, I was like, okay. When they started handing the ball off to Pacheco more, I said, okay. I said, so the turnovers went away. We started scoring touchdowns and kicking field goals as well. But our drives, we were sustaining them. They were 6-7 minute drives, and we were taking time off the clock. Like, that is essential. And it's like, well, gone are the days where we have to score 50 points. We can actually play complementary football now to the defense. And here we are. So
it's like we just saw what Patrick and the offense looks like and just assumed they always prefer to play 28 point, throw it all down the field. And maybe to an extent they still do, but at least at the end of the season, they've leaned into what they're good at. And they've almost played back into like the 2014-15 Chiefs offensive playbook, where it's heavy tight end sets and the play action pass gets Travis Kelce wide open. And wide open Travis Kelce is a beautiful thing for Chiefs Kingdom to see. I mean, it happened enough time a few weeks ago to break some legitimate NFL records. So,
and as frustrated as I was with Nagy all season, I was like, man, like, we have the backfield, we have the tight ends that we had back when, you know, we had Alex Smith, we had Avery, we had all those other guys, and we were still scoring a lot of points. It's like, well, when is that going to show his head? And slowly but surely, here come the heavy tight end sets, the play action, more Mahomes under center. That's what I like to see. Like, I felt like for a few years we got too comfortable with him being in the gun. You know what I mean? But you got to switch it up to slow those defensive ends down.
Yes. Like, how much better the run and play action goes if you're willing to hike the ball from center.
Correct.
And Shanahan and their offense is like, not the Kings, but they love to play that old type of football. And
yes, they do.
Honestly, I think this Sunday might come down to who's willing to commit to running the ball the most. And I think both offensive coaches are, especially this season with Andy, maybe not so much in previous seasons, but at least with this season, both coaches tend to lean into the run game more. And it's going to be who's going to throw when maybe they shouldn't have.
Right.
And it's all going to feel like it's spiraling. So,
very true.
Yeah, great conversation. Before we transition, and we're almost pretty much getting into it, the Super Bowl related conversation. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. With that, I'm going to bring in Mr. Daily Dale back to the group.
All right. Okay. I'm in here. Y'all been waiting for this. What's up with it? Y'all been waiting for this. We about to have a good time.
Yes,
Drop those comments right now.
Oh, Lord.
Everybody in Arrowhead Rejects, y'all got y'all time to talk with Larry. He up here. We having a good time. So drop those comments. Y'all know at the end we're going to go through them and everything like that. And we're going to have this discussion. and we're gonna have a good time. Now, Larry, you talking to me now. It's your family right here.
What's up, man?
You talking to me now. You know, we be having some good conversations,
We
Clayton.
do.
You know, when he get irritated, he come to me, he be like, I can't do it. I can't do it with these dudes, bro. I can't do it. Cause like I'm really a healthy balance. Like I'm in the middle. And people get mad because I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stay calm the whole time. We saw the Chiefs when they were horrible.
Yeah.
I'm cool. We saw 2 good Super Bowls, and they're competing for another one right now. Hey, I'm gonna let them do their job. I'm not getting mad over. I'm not crying over y'all no more. But it's the Super Bowl. We here. Super Bowl 58. We here. We made it. Long season. It has been tough. We've been going back and forth. We was like, hey, let's go ahead and just make it simple. Pretty much all we said is let's make it simple. They did what we asked, Larry. Now we
Yep.
here. Made it through. Offense is a lot more efficient. So just to really kick it off, like with my first question, going into the Super Bowl, what are your keys to victory for the Chiefs to actually win their 3rd Lombardi in 5 seasons?
The key is really going to be, of course, DB and linebacker play. Well, really the whole defense. If we're put in zone situations, we got to have our eyes on the QB and not just lost in space. And that's, when we had the conversation about Drew Tranquil being compared to Willie Gay. I love Willie Gay, all the athleticism in the world, but he does get lost in coverage, especially in zone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So with the addition of Drew, that's going to be monumental. Now, offensively, we just got to do what we do.
Okay.
I did notice against the Buffalo game, we went away from the spread formation and brought our receivers in tight to make the defense kind of have to adjust and play us across the field from sideline to sideline, and we started having success that way. So really, man, we just have to play our style of football. And I honestly think this is going to be an ugly game for the 49ers. And I think we're going to outcoach them.
Outcoach them.
Just like we did Baltimore.
Okay. So with us outcoaching them, you think we're going to be able to outcoach them and everything like that? All right. In what level of the game where you think our coaching will be key? Because we know we have the talent. I know we've been dealing with issues in our receiver room, but in general, we still have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, the best tight end in the league, arguably the best defensive tackle on the other side of the ball, and honestly, top 3 defense or top 3 cornerbacks. I would say the best cornerback group in the league, defensive backs.
Yep.
So where would the coaching actually come in and be able to be an advantage for the Kansas City Chiefs?
So with us, if you stop our run game, you're going to have to deal with Pat. As compared to San Francisco, if you shut down CMC, I don't know if Purdy can beat us by himself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can sprinkle in Debo, but McDuffie or whoever will probably take him out the game. We're not worried about that. But I just think that we have more layers, you know what I mean, than they do. You know, we're a little bit more dangerous in that regard. And our defense is a lot stingier than theirs is. Like this 49ers team isn't as strong as the one we beat in the Super Bowl a few years ago, to me.
They were very stingy too. That was a stingy defense right there. They were star-studded and they were playing, lights out for the first 3 quarters.
I mean,
of the
I
game.
watched the replay of that the other day. The Niners held the Chiefs to 10 points for 53 minutes of game time, and then allowed 21 points the last 5 minutes of the game.
Right.
So the Chiefs can do scoring, and they do it in bunches. I don't think, especially this year, I don't think this offense can afford to go that long with that little amount of points. So I think they're going to play consistently, trying to put up points of any kind, believing in their defense to get the better of the offense on the next drive and win it for them.
True.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we have said it already before when that offense, once they score the first couple touchdowns in the first half, we don't see nothing in the second half where they've been stagnant for like multiple drives. You kind of know at that point either we're probably, if we're playing to the end of the game with the other team doing something offensively, we're going to have to score some type of points, got to get downfield to get some type of field goal. And anytime we actually fought for those moments, drop pass, missed call, DPI, we don't cry about those, though. It's a part of the game.
Right.
Penalty, offsides from Tony. A lot of stuff that happened that could have possibly put us in the 1 seed, which is okay. But we saw it actively happen throughout the entire season. They've been fighting with that struggle. But for them to come into the postseason and do that, it's like, it's amazing. It's when you show your experience, you show your grind, you show that you're really built as a dynasty when you have those moments. Lonnie, you joined us, bro. What's up?
Yeah, I see. And y'all was in the middle of a good conversation, so I didn't even want to stop it. But
What's going on?
But you might as well come into the conversation now, bro.
how you doing? How you doing, Larry? I'm
All right, yourself, brother.
one of the co-hosts of the show. I see you got already indoctored with all our Chiefs and our Chiefs gander and how we like to talk and just spitball about the Chiefs. But I just want to know. I need to get caught up. What was this a synopsis? Like, what Larry had to expand them?
So let me tell you. Stop doing all that professional stuff with him. That's family right there. We brother. So that's your cousin too, bro. That's our cousin. That's our cousin Larry, bro. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, cousin Larry, what's up, man? What's going on?
What's up, cuz?
What's
Slow
up?
motion, man.
What we got going on? So I heard that you said you feel like we can make Brock Purdy beat us. I feel like that's the game plan too. Mm-hmm. I talked to Clinton about that. We were kind of spitballing a little bit after on the stream yesterday. I think this game can go one or two ways. It can be a blowout or it can be a shootout. But I feel like it definitely can be a blowout. But I just don't want to stamp that yet. And I told them that as well. But
and I'm the same exact way. I feel very confident about it, but I don't want to be too confident because I actually gave Baltimore 17 points last week. And they surprised me. Like, I thought Lamar Jackson was going to, kind of have a pretty good day, and he didn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because just going off the fact of what Josh Allen was able to do just a little bit, I was like, all right, well, he'll have some yards, have some success, but it won't amount to much. But we controlled that game from the first quarter to the last.
Mm.
We did. Like, a lot of people were really expecting him. A lot of people were saying 30, 27 at least.
Definitely more points. I mean, you would have thought
more.
Between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, they clearly showed Josh more respect in the way that they were petrified of him just taking over the game themselves. They were daring Lamar to throw it the whole game, and he did, but it didn't amount to anything.
Right.
So I wonder which of those game plans Bags thinks Brock is, because we would assume more of the Josh Allen approach, but maybe they like what they, I don't know. We'll see.
You think the Josh Allen approach with Brock Purdy?
Does the defense have as much respect?
I think Spags like the blitz. So we're going after him all day. Like, we don't care. You better get your feet together, get under your feet.
Not the kind of quarterback who's not afraid to run and get the first down, just like Patrick will. Like, he'll be a chain mover. Yeah,
but that's why I don't think the game plan changes at all. And I just want to put that out there. I don't think the game plan changed at all for this playoffs, except for when we went from Miami Dolphins to playing the Buffalo Bills. Ever since that game, the game plan has been the same because we have two dynamic runners. All the rest of the quarterbacks that we'll be playing were dynamic runners except Jared Goff. So Brock Purdy is nowhere near as a dynamic of a runner as Josh Allen nor Lamar Jackson. So I don't want to even kind of put him in that same vein. And that's why I keep saying that. I feel like they keep bringing that up a lot, but we just played two of the most dynamic runners in the NFL, period, point blank.
Run if you want to.
I've never seen Brock Purdy make any type of moves like Lamar Jackson or lower a shoulder and run a guy over like Josh Allen. So I just don't see him just running for 150 yards on the cheek. I don't see that happening.
And also to add to that, this style of offense is similar to what we've seen in Miami.
That's very true.
Yeah,
that's right.
Minus a few, minus Hill and all the rest of it. They're going to try to make you, give you that eye candy to make you play sideline to sideline, possibly try to hit you deep with Kittle. But I think, like you said, the principles defensively are going to be the same. Like, you might have to run across the field with somebody, but as long as you get to that quarterback, as long as you smacking McCaffrey, we should be successful. Like, we take away McCaffrey, I don't think Debo will do too much running the ball. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and he injured as well too, playing through injury. So
right.
they really watching how that goes. And even though George Kittle, he's not going to be practicing throughout the week, he's dealing with that injury, and we know he's going to play. It's just the point that it's there. It can be an
Right.
aggravating injury. A toe is tough to play on. Not so many people can do that, unless you Patrick Mahomes.
It's true.
Put it out there. But man, let's go ahead and go forward into, because we definitely could talk about this the whole night. We can go anywhere with it. So right now, throughout the entire season, and I mean going into the Super Bowl as well too, who has been your favorite defensive player, and do you think that defensive player will make an impact in the Super Bowl?
You know me, I really can't pick a player. I'm going to give it to the whole unit because one doesn't be successful without the other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I really have to give take my hat off to the whole defensive unit as a whole. You know what I mean?
Spags. That's good. He can be the answer. He can be the answer. He's not a player. He's a coach.
I got a coach answer.
Okay.
Dave Merritt.
Oh, the defensive
okay.
coach.
Yep.
That's enough.
I watched a clip of him today of just being at media night. He is like the proudest dad you could possibly be for his team. It doesn't matter who you are on this team. He loves you like he is your own son.
Right.
So I just love seeing it because you see these coaches just care so much about the player, and then you hear the players just gush about like the character that the men that the coaches are.
Yep.
So I'm giving it to, if we're not gonna do a player, I'm gonna call him out specifically on this coaching staff because I know the rest of the team feeds off his energy. He's that Eric the enemy energy for the defensive side.
For sure. And I just want to say, I'm sad. I just share that same sentiment with Clinton. I'm surprised this guy hasn't gotten more looks for head coaching opportunities or even coordinator opportunities. What Dave Merritt has done with the secondary since he has came in with Steve Spagnuolo is second to none. Starting with Daniel Sorensen, Tyrann Mathieu, Charvarius Ward, just to name a few. So of guys that came in there and he just flipped and made. Charvarius Ward is the guy that gets paid $40 million now, $40 million a year, I think is what he got from the San Francisco 49ers. So hats off to Dave Merritt. I know Brendan Daly got a look here on that defense. He's the linebacker coach, coach with Bill Belichick, came over with Steve Spagnuolo and won a couple Super Bowls. So I know he got to look for a head coaching job. But I just want to take my hat off to Dave Merritt. I know his son, I think, plays over here in Blue Valley, plays corner actually in the city. So just hats off to him, man. What he, like you said, he's a proud father of that secondary, and these are all five guys that he picked, and you can just really see we lean on that part of our team, which is was never a strong suit.
That's true.
Yep.
Who I'm going with, since everybody went, I'm going with Joe Cullen. Then since we staying with coaches, he's a dog. I just that interaction he had with Chris Jones and Chris Jones going back and forth. He said, "Bro, I don't care. I'm in your face too. I'm the big dog. I'm teaching all of y'all. I'm training everybody right here." For him to bring that energy, everybody was like, "What we gonna do?" Frank gone. You got Dunlap, who went out the way. We're depending on Mike Dana and George Karlaftis to step up. We're about to be probably dependent on Felix to step in and take some reps in the Super Bowl as well too. And he flashed a couple times in the regular season, but he doesn't care who it is. What they do is he's like, you keep on playing 100% until the play is over. That's why we're in the top 3 in sacks every year. The motor keeps going. At the end of the day, these guys on the other side of the ball, the offensive line, they're supposed to be the strong point to protect the quarterback. So it's not going to be easy every time. We're playing, if you're doing a 4-3 or 3-3-5 that we did multiple times, we're outmatched at that point. Now, when we scheme it up, have the blitzes come in from the corners, okay, yeah, because we're that's a little eye candy on defense where we're confusing you a little bit. But they got to go out. They have to beat those double teams. Chris Jones do it consistently all the time. We might think he's lazy at times, but at the same time, he's taking up the space. He helping bringing those bodies. That's allowed us to be able to capitalize and do something on that side of the ball. So I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Joe Cullen. Basically, right here from the entire board, we went with coaches. I mean, players. We know they've been playing. They did their job because they all stood out.
Right.
We can't give an MVP. Each week is somebody else.
It is.
Each week. You had Trent McDuffie, all pro, first team all pro in slot. Stepped up consistently throughout the entire part of the first part of the season and going forward. Jerry Sneed been locking down every number one wide receiver. Linebacker core, the most underrated. I put a post out there on extra couple months ago. This group not underrated. Nobody talk about the Chiefs linebacker group like that. No. They just know they're a great unit. They're a strong unit. They're not the weakest on that side of the ball. But y'all don't give them that same respect.
And I said that with Drew when he filled in for Nick Bolton for that time that he was out. I said, man, with Drew and Bolton in there together, that's two middle linebackers, but one with the athleticism of an outside linebacker. That IQ right there between those two players is going to be off the charts. Like they can both run the defense or play off of each other. So yeah, our linebacker crew is very underrated, but they're dominant. I love it.
Right. Anything else y'all want to add before we go ahead?
I figured you just to keep naming George Karlaftis, Mike Dana. I mean, you can keep going down the list. Even the Deion Bush in the playoff games. I mean, like Spags has got his guys primed and ready, and I'm surprised we just all didn't say that. But hats off to Spags, like we've been saying. These are all guys that he's just found a way to just like be able to mold into his type of guy. Mike Edwards coming through with a whole bunch of interceptions. Like you said, we can name a different guy every week. Charles Omenihu, it's a different guy every week, and that's how you know when you develop to a T. And you got something that really works.
And the thing is, we have like arguably the one main defensive star. He made the Pro Bowl. He's got the All-Pro votes, but sometimes he doesn't get all the stats. But you can't watch the defense without Chris Jones being somewhere on the line, taking up a lot of attention.
That's
so
true.
I preached it last night. I mean, I would love to see a Chris Jones Super Bowl MVP. I want to see another defensive MVP. And if there was going to be a year to do it, it's the year when you would say the Chiefs defense is better than the Chiefs offense. Super Bowl 58, Derek Thomas. We talked about him earlier. Come on, man. It just works perfectly.
And Clayton, for you to say that, we're talking about once the off season comes as well too, because we're always debating like, okay, what he did this season, he might be gone, right? He didn't do enough. He didn't meet he got to his sack incentive. He got to the Super Bowl like he was supposed to, but he's not gonna get defensive player of the year, right? But to get Super Bowl MVP, it's like, hey, I didn't get you on this, but I got this.
Right.
Now talk to me nice.
Right.
Put out that blank check. I don't want to hear nothing.
Because Rams Bengals, I know the MVP went to Cooper Kupp, but I mean, you could argue that Aaron Donald should have got it, especially the way the game ended. I mean,
absolutely,
he single-handedly made sure the Rams got to the Super Bowl and won it, and then the Rams paid him a hefty price for that Super Bowl trophy.
Right.
Yep. Hey, and we y'all know we can talk about this contract details all day. Larry, we gonna get more people on later on throughout the year as well too, when the off season comes, definitely to have more discussion about that, because we can go all night with that.
Right.
But let's go ahead and jump on to the next one. So you kind of already told us who your favorite offensive player right now, because you say right now your current player is what, Isaiah Pacheco, right?
Right.
Offensively. So let's not do this, because everybody in the chat, in a group, always talk about how you shift your opinion based off of a coach, right? Because you coach in a little league.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What you got to say to the people out there who always looking like, bro, you're always bringing in this coaching stuff. You think because you're a coach, you can just talk to us any type of way. And, in my opinion, we keep it real with each other, Tom. I can see what they saying.
Right.
Right. I can see what they saying, but I know where how you're coming at it, because you look at the game a different way because
Right.
you got to teach these people.
Right.
You're understanding all these different assignments.
Right.
So what do you want to say to those out there where it's like, I'm not really degrading your point. It's just what I'm saying. It's like I'm standing by it because this is what I have to do on a daily basis with the young guys I'm trying to build up.
So going from middle school to coaching high school, I mean, going from the youth, little league to high school, back to middle school, and learning from actually Joe Horn's brother, was a defensive line coach under him. Like learning techniques, learning reads, learning like being engulfed in football. Like I'm not the guy that just sits back on Sunday and all right, well, let's turn the TV on, let's watch football all day. Right. I'm the guy that's on YouTube looking at the all 22, seeing how, okay, well, if they do the 4-3 under or 4-2 under this way, you know what I mean? Where can I bring blitz from here? Because, like, to be honest with you, my last year coaching the youth, I actually stole the 5-1-5 from Baltimore Ravens. It was a defense that they ran against the Chiefs with zero coverage over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually implemented that with my youth team, and we ran it all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
when it comes to that regard, like I'm a student of the game. You know what I mean? And I can talk about every single team in the NFL, what they do well and what they don't do. You know, just I love the Chiefs, of course, but I just love football. So yeah, I do come from a different place when it comes to football because when it comes to going to the coaching clinics and all the rest of that, like yeah, I'm in a whole nother different atmosphere over here when it comes to football.
So if I can piggyback off that, so if you're working with middle school kids, what do you say to them if, say, their efforts aren't getting the results that you would like? So what are you saying if they're going through weeks of practice, they get in the games, and it just feels like those weeks in practice and what you practice just isn't quite there yet on next couple games?
So there's a psychological aspect of it. Anybody can have a great practice, and then game time comes, it's a whole nother mindset, a whole nother level of pressure. So I always tell the boys or the young ladies, I don't care if you make a mistake because I can coach that. But effort is a decision between you and you.
Right.
Can't coach effort, but I can coach technique. Because matter of fact, I want you to tell me what you've seen, because if you messed up, took a wrong angle, did a missed tackle or anything, I can coach that up. I can teach you outside leverage to make sure, you funneling everything back into the rest of the defense so you don't get beat outside. Your shades with the interior lineman, I can teach you all of that. But if you're not giving me 110%, yeah, there's nothing I can really do with that. You're gonna have to stand beside me, holding an ice cold bottle of water and giving it to your boys that are out there playing. So
is that kind of like consistent? Like, have you seen that kind of mentality throughout, or is there kind of a period of time where it started to be more moody or not receptive to coaching or whatever?
It has been, because you really have to know how to, I guess, talk to kids to really get a lot out of them. You know what I mean? And
yes,
if you're going to break them down, you have to build them up.
yes.
You know what I mean? With positive encouragement and things of that nature. So yeah, like I love the developmental side of football. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if you're a little league or even if you're NFL, because I know Rasheed Rice was getting a lot of flack from beginning of the season, and it's like, well, hold on, well, give them a chance to blossom, and now everybody's praising them. But it's like, well, you got to kind of give them time, because even though you do make it to the league, the coaching doesn't stop, the learning doesn't stop, the growing doesn't stop.
That's why you're gonna be great.
Oh, so just to put that in like a real world perspective, because it's what Chiefs Kingdom has talked about a lot this season, and then in the playoffs, everything can magically just be forgotten. So what would you say to like MVS's situation, where the fans rightfully so. They're saying get him out. He's not playing well, but know that he's capable of more. But then when it's in your head, how much of that makes the situation worse and feeds into what everybody's telling you versus the screw you, I'm going to use this to spite you instead of to smite myself.
Well, so you got to take it deeper than just the player. So remember, we had an actual former receiver that was his wide receiver coach last year, because he came here with the same bad rep about dropping passes, and last year he was pretty solid. The coach leaves. I don't know where they got this guy from, but then his production drops, and it's all about focus. It's all about getting back to the basics and things of that nature. So it's when Mahomes threw that pass, that deep ball to MVS, and I seen who it was, my heart stopped. But then he caught it. But you can see kind of Mahomes, the way he threw it in the air, it had velocity on it, but he took a lot of it off. So when it fell in his hands, it was like a loaf of bread falling in his hands. So he did it solid.
We all laughed at Mahomes when it's like, oh, I needed to like underthrow MVS a little bit. And he took that legitimately to heart and did that. So
he threw it like a jackpot pass.
He did.
Dead or alive, baby.
Like he just go get it. It's a punt. Go grab it. But I think it did a lot for his confidence. I feel like it showed I'm gonna stay with my guy. I feel like it's a lot of confidence. That's kind of like and I feel like that's a big part of coaching as well. I don't know if you share that same sentiment, Larry, but just having confidence and breeding confidence, preaching confidence into your guys. Even though MVS was having a bad year to us, inside and internally, they were still preaching that he was still one of the best guys, one of the best wide receivers that they've ever seen. So and know what he's capable of doing. And I feel like that's what we got to see in the Buffalo game as a result of that, and that's what we got to see in the Baltimore game. So let's see if it can continue.
Right, and I'm very big on building confidence, because it's a term that I use to the boys, and they laugh every time I say it. I said, man, you have to let your nuts hang. And we as grown men, we know what that means. Like, shit, I'm the baddest man walking around here. But I'm teaching that to middle school kids, because I'm big on letting your personality show. Like, don't diminish who you are individually. You know what I mean? You don't, your personality, your skill set is a cog in this gear. You know what I mean? So whatever you're going to contribute something. So that's the biggest thing, man. Just being confident in what you can contribute to the team and build on that, because confidence really it fixes a lot of stuff. You can overcome a lot just by being confident in what you do.
Yes, it's okay to be different. You don't all have to be exactly the same.
Right.
All right. So before we go ahead and get into these comments, all right. Prediction for Super Bowl 58 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers.
24-10 our way.
24-14?
24-10.
24-10?
Yes.
Okay. All right. See another 10? I like to see 7. Just keep on going down. Keep on going down. I'm asking too much. Lonnie always say I ask too much. Lonnie, what I do in that game?
Yeah, Dale said before Charles Omenihu gets a strip sack, we and Dale talking on the phone. He's like, man, we need a turnover. And I'm like, Dale, like every time we get in these games in these high pressure situations, you find a way to kind of like just say, I'm like, Dale, stop doing it. Basically, don't do that. Less than a minute later, Charles Omenihu, sure enough, comes around this edge, gets a sack. I'm like, damn, didn't you just manifest it? And I told you to shut up. I probably should just tell you.
and I'm be honest with you, Lonnie. And this is where I get it from. Larry and all my other uncles and them as well too. Because we didn't all seen it all before. We didn't been in those positions where we're doing it to the other teams now. It's like you kind of get the feeling of the game of what's going on. Like you're the number 1 seed and you coming out timid and scared. We are supposed to be this weak Kansas City Chiefs team who is having all these troubles. And we coming in, like he talked about earlier, confidence. Y'all still got to be us. We'll go there. We'll go to Canada. We'll go to Apple Market, Thriftway, Happy Foods. We don't care. We lining up and we going. What are you gonna do?
That's right.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So you take all of that along with knowing the game is like, this is a perfect time for it. And I know the coach is on the sideline sitting right now. He said, we need a turnover right here.
Mm-hmm.
We need a turnover right here. Just because it's just like we know what we're working with offensively. It's not like the offense is just the most horrendous thing that's going on in the league right now, but it's like we got to help them out. This is our year to help them out. They didn't save us the past years. Every time we won a Super Bowl, they came back for us. 31-20, 38-35. We lost in the Super Bowl with Tampa, 31-9. We didn't step up. We still let them get 31 points. Now they looking like it's our time. And that's how I feel it's gonna go on for the rest of the postseason.
You can't disrespect the defense in 54. They had to get 3 stops in a row to get the ball back to the Chiefs when they were down 4, then with the lead, then one more stop to ice the game away. So,
I mean, it wasn't bad, but they not what we are this year, though. I think that's the thing. With that defense, we had a lot of great moments. Frank Clark was a part of that. A lot of people hate him.
Frank,
yeah, that was a lot of people. He comes up in big moments though, but they were just what we weren't doing in the past. We weren't like making those plays when we were supposed to. We had the Mariota situation. We had Andrew Luck come back on us. All that stuff, And we put up a lot of points in that game, in some of those games as well, too. Alex Smith put up 21 against the Titans, so be it, but they still came back. Defense was, supposed to keep it pushing. I think now it's looking like they looking in their head like, nah, this is our turn to really say, like, you can't go over there and say Patrick Mahomes won it for us. We did that.
Right.
And Pat, he's going to want that because he's a team player. He always put the team first. He doesn't hesitate to rely on them. I can't do it. I don't have it this time. It's okay when you can be vulnerable in those moments and be like, I need y'all to back me up because y'all my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. So, hey, we'll see what happens on Sunday, but we got a lot of comments coming in right now. Let's go ahead and get into it. Rodney, he been waiting for you to get on, bro. He said, come on, Larry. He said, come on, Larry, talk to him. He said, talk to him real quick. We got another one. Yeah. We got another one, Marnell Thomas. And Pat, we trust. Don't need superstition. I mean, you don't gotta use the superstition if you want. It's cool. We gonna stick with what we doing over here. Absolutely. That's been helping us win.
I just told my mother-in-law's family, like, hey, they said, y'all watching the game over here? I'm like, nah, I'm watching it at home. Everybody, you gotta do what works. I mean, that's just how I am. That's how I'm rolling.
Right. We also got in Spags We Trust. You've been an advocate all year about that, Lonnie. Yeah. I mean, Larry. You've been an advocate about that all year. In Spags We Trust. All right, another one, Marnell again. Nobody mentions how Spags defense wasn't so great the past 6 years.
What can we do about yesterday?
I mean,
we can't.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but we literally went through a complete defensive overhaul. That's the whole point. We had all these players that fit a Bob Sutton scheme.
Hold on, I'm about to say
it's still the same. Other than Chris Jones, I don't know if anybody else on that defense was like around when Spags was like flipping over the roster.
Nope.
And Martin, we ain't jumping on you. I think we're just saying like I think people gave Spags the credit he deserved. He had to work with what he had, but we weren't in that top 5, top three defense yet. Towards the end of the season, going into the postseason, and also going to the Super Bowl, we always started to touch the top 10, top 12 in that area. A solid defense, but you wasn't like in that elite level yet. And what he did and be able to build on top of that, that's why he getting the praise now. But like we said already, he always made his players have the moments that mattered most that Bob Sutton didn't do. That's all.
So I'll just say in 2007, when Spags was able to shut down Tom Brady, they had the 4th ranked defense. So just saying, you give Spags a good enough defense, he could kind of win games by himself.
And he get to mold these guys too, because it's his guys.
That's right. He got to handpick everything. Andy Reid is the perfect defensive coach to have. because he's not going to tell you what to do. He's not going to do anything about it. He might tell you, hey, can you play like a little bit like more careful this set? But other than that, everything the defense Andy Reid does not touch, and Spags loves that. This is his defense, and the players know that. It's giving Chicago Bears 85, but not this like the coaches hate each other. Just like the offense loves the offensive Andy Reid, and the defense loves their defensive coach, and they're both like playing for each other and almost like proving to each other out of spite they can win it. Like, we don't need you. We can win defensively ourselves.
Yeah.
This was a nice one. That was. They said, but Reid is a solid safety. That's when y'all was talking about Justin Reid. He tackles well. All right, everybody across the board. Tyron or Justin Reid?
For two different reasons, man.
Yeah, like I don't know because
I'm taking Reid.
Okay.
All right, Reid.
The fact that Mike Edwards is on this team maybe makes me think I don't. It's fine the way it is, and because he's already that Tyrann Mathieu type role.
We gotta think of the year that Tyrann Mathieu was almost DPOI.
Yeah.
Like that season that he put together in KC, guarding number 1 wide receivers, channeling the vintage Honey Badger.
Hold on, guard. You said he was guarding number 1? Don't say he was getting cooked by tight ends. Let's keep it G.
No, he wasn't getting cooked by tight ends.
He was getting cooked. Yes, he was getting cooked sometimes, bro.
I feel like
he was too little. That's all.
You don't remember the pass breakup against Cortland Sutton in the end zone?
That's wide receiver.
You don't remember the interception?
The most memories I have of Tyrann Mathieu is his hands up in the air. Yeah. Like, I can't believe I just got scored on or scored against me.
You don't remember the interception?
This was the meme the whole time.
I'm saying we can't forget that season that he had. He won. I think he won defensive MVP for the Chiefs that year. Actually,
hands up the whole time.
We're not going to forget it. We're not going to forget it. But he made business decisions.
He did a lot.
Reid doesn't.
Yep.
Either Reid's going to get beat or Reid's going to make a play, and that's football. He's not going to olay nobody and be trying to jump on their back. No, he's going to try to come stick somebody every single time. And I love Tyrann Mathieu. I love what he brought. I love the energy, the leadership, and all the rest of that. But
yeah, let me chill out because that's why he left in the first place.
My answer might change if we have Brian Cook back. I'll say that. I might be swayed because then you could have both of those roles. But the way it works out, I don't think you could have two hockey type safeties with this scheme. You need somebody you think can play the run and be a.
You need a dog. You need a dog, and I think that's why Justin Reid at times where I like him because I think it's more of like a lot of times he explained the situations why you didn't go for the interception. You're not out there to really see how your body can really play towards that situation. So I think he thinks at sometimes the best bet is like to engage with him and try to get a pass breakup. At the end of the day, if I don't let a big gain down the field, that's still a plus. It don't have to be a pick every time. Right. But as an athlete, I will say I love Tyrann Mathieu more. For my scheme with Spags right now, Justin Reid, because we need dogs. We got L'Jarius Sneed who locking up everybody. You got Mike Edwards who's playing around at the free safety position, who's a ball hawk in Tampa. You had Trip McDuffie, who's one of the best nickel dime backs in the league right now. He's an all-pro for that for a reason. And then we're not even talking about Jalen Watson and Williams, who at times make plays as well too. And everybody wants to hit. We was complaining about, we heard it a lot in the group, Larry.
Yep.
They don't tackle well. They're not doing this. They're hitting now. And so that's guess what that led to?
Away from them not getting interceptions because they do you can't ask for them to do everything. So if you're going to tackle, you're going to cover well, that means we're going to be successful defensively.
Right.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that Airberry pick, that would have been my next pick. Hey, you should have heard Kenny's picks. He was wild. You should have heard.
Yeah, Alex Smith. Said him last night. Come on, man. You could have said it last night. I asked you for your defensive player.
He did ask, Kenny. He did ask. Eric Berry. He said Jamal Charles, of course. Alex Smith. He was really trying. All right, I'm not gonna say he trolled the whole time. I'm not gonna say he trolled the whole time. He was cool. It wasn't like the Kennedy that you thought you would see on the thing all the time. He was really like, okay. The thing is, he had points with it, but you see that he was stretching it and trying to
Right.
he was doing it to make people mad.
Right.
But it's like it's truth behind it. That's why I don't get mad too much about it. But yeah, Eric Berry, I love it. The person that would make the biggest difference on this Super Bowl team would be Dante Hall. Imagine a dangerous special teams to this already stacked Super Bowl
that's
team.
what
That's a
Cole's
good
supposed
one.
to be, but maybe sure-handed instead.
Yeah. Hey,
Swap it
you
out.
know Andy Reid would have been like, Dante, I got something for you. He would have
Yeah.
made him into Tyreek Hill if he would have had a coach like that.
I know
That's
there's a
'cause that's what they-
Tennessee question later, so I won't
Yeah,
spoil that too much.
Yeah. Rice is my new favorite. Pat is, of course, the number one. I think all of us here, like, honestly, like, regardless of the drops, we talked about it, but he was the playmaker for our offense. Like him,
Yes.
Kelsey, Rice, Pacheco. That's the core four this year. Facts. All right, cool. I read our defense give up 20 plus yards 17% of the time in cover one, and if 49ers have 20 plus plays 27% of the time versus cover one, that's going to be interesting to see what Spag does.
I mean, that's
Yes.
the other interesting part because
Mhm.
the Chiefs defense, it's weakest point is its run defense, and if a team has been willing to run on them, they've had success. You would have said, "Uh-oh, here we go. We're going against Baltimore, a team that loves to run the ball," and they just didn't do it.
Mhm.
I just don't think the 49ers are like just going to completely mental lapse and not run the ball the way that they have done all season. So
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would
So
you do that
what
to
are your
your
thoughts?
opponent?
How do we stop it? Do just enough to get the win? Because I mean,
Because
unfortunately, the stats haven't shown the defense can truly stop the running game.
because the thing about what's going to offset that, if we get a stop early and we go down and score like we did last week, that puts other quarterbacks into a situation where, okay, I have to win this game because there might not be no coming back from this since they're up 7. So psychologically, when we go down and score, and typically we shred number one defenses offensively, like we'll lose to the 30th ranked Raiders and come out and put up 50 against Baltimore and make it look easy. But yeah, if we go out down and score, that'll change. That changes people's whole game plan on how they want to play us. It goes
Because
out the door.
they don't want to give it back to Patrick Mahomes when you down from him. Lonnie, what were you about to say?
And I think that they heard all the noise about that run too, Clint. I mean, I feel like we're talking about this now. When we're talking about a defense that gave up 17 points against the Baltimore Ravens, the number one offense in the league. So like you said what 10 points? I'm sorry. Yeah. So like you gotta. I feel like they're hearing this noise to think that they're not going to come out and have a game plan for that run or something of that nature. I feel like it's just kind of asinine. Like they're gonna stop that. That run. I think they figure out a way to do that because it's just been too much noise about it. We know that that's their Achilles heel. I don't think Spags is going to let them lose the game like that.
Right. I agree. Rodney said 30 mil a year, 33 mil a year. Woo! We don't got that type of money, man. We don't got that type of money.
Especially with Darius Sneed needing to be paid.
This is the thing. This situation I think is way different than Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek, his agent got too thirsty, understanding the skill set that he has. He knew that he was the best wide receiver in the league. They had to get paid right now. Chris Jones, you started from here, just like Tyreek Hill as well too. He started here as well. But you always been like the focal point on the defensive side of the ball. You always been a reason why our defense always did well as well too. And at the same time, if he wins, he had 3 Super Bowls. His position don't need 6 or 7 to compete with Tom Brady. He's not competing with Tom Brady. I'm in a whole different realm. I'm on this side of the ball as a defensive tackle. That's what worries me though. It's like, what's your mindset? Are you just trying to secure that bag before leaving? Or it's like, I take this little 28.5 that y'all trying to offer me and let's just keep it going. How you feel about that, Larry?
I mean, I'm all for, but we hear that in the group too. Everybody should be pro player, and because these organizations will do what they want to these players, but at the same time, like, I just don't see that from our organization because this dude riding your fool. Because like it's more of a family aspect with the Chiefs. You know what I mean? They like to keep their core players together. You know what I mean? And yeah, if you do take less, they will keep you around. You know what I mean? Other than what the market value is. But so I hope we can keep them and keep winning championships. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it still is a business. So
I think the only thing that maybe gives me hope is that like Chris seems like genuinely fed up with his agents at the end of the season when it seemed like he and his agents had this like united front, and it was like all of Chiefs Kingdom versus his agents, honestly, because all Chris was saying is, I'm just doing what my agents say. And it's like, well, your agents are stupid. The agents told you to reject $80 million guaranteed to test it out. And because you're Chris Jones and because this is the Chiefs and they've gone to 4 Super Bowls in 5 seasons, you get these opportunities. But like once you want to chase the money elsewhere, a la Tyreek Hill is seeing it, the ceiling of what success is to you starts to drop. And I feel like Chris Jones, he might want the money, but I feel like he is a legacy type of player. Like he wants to go down with some type of legacy. Like he could go down as an all-time Chief, and it sounds like he wants to. So let's hope he's a little more lenient about his contract decisions this offseason than he was last season. And hopefully he has new representation that helps him do that.
Right.
Chiefs by 10. Okay, 49ers not scoring over 17. I agree. I agree. I agree. What y'all think KT Rowe gonna be? We don't need him dropping passes, but man, his talent when he does is the same. It's conflicting to me.
He'll get a handoff. Yeah,
hand it off.
Same thing as D-Row.
To piggyback on that,
right
Sky Moore is coming back this game too because he's also off of injured reserve. So we'll see how much of that jet sweep action happens. If anybody remembers last season, McCole Hardman honestly was like a game changer against the 49ers. They were having a very hard time with the motion and jet sweeps. And one aspect of the Chiefs offense that has struggled this season has been those jet sweeps and those motion type plays that always seem to, gain a couple yards, 3 yards, chunk plays at a time. So that's what we need. That's what all those players coming back are supposed to be for.
Right. And Andy Reid pay attention to those type of moments as well too. Looking back, scored 44 on them, held them to 23. McCole was a difference maker. Hey, you had some tough struggles the past couple games. Let's try to slide you in a play on a low key to see what happens, to see what type of effect you have. Once he sees something where it's like, oh, he flashed, we know where he wants to go after that. He'll play with just like he play. I remember. I don't care how garbage you thought they was the past couple games. What they did against you, though, I want to see what happens again. I like that. I like that mentality. That's why you can't really argue with Andy Reid sometimes. It's like you can get mad about time management and all that, but he thinks outside the box. Rodney, he messed up his trust and opportunity to get the deep route plays, and he need to trust him to earn those plays. And we was complaining about that too. We wanted him to do. I wanted to see him more downfield, like see what happened.
And piggyback off what you said, Dale. Like I go back to Super Bowl last year, that China route or the spot route where the receiver sent him in motion, and while he was in motion, he goes in and goes back out. Well, he stole that from the Jaguars. They ran that same play, but he ran it on both sides of the field. So yeah, you're right. He has intel from the whole season and going to put everything that was your Achilles heel on display in this one game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Andy. That's Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I really think this type of defense calmed him down and made him even better in a way. Like Larry, you were big on that. You were big on that. You was like having a defense like this. You wanted Mahomes to calm down a lot more.
I did.
You wanted him to calm down a lot more. Yep. All right, we had the Florio one. Florio saying the Chiefs are hiding Andy's
Stop
retirement
it.
and the reason EB in house is
Stop
because he's
it.
next. He really
I'm
just said
done
that
taking Florio's opinion seriously.
for real.
I stopped
Like
doing that a year and a half ago.
he clickbait at
The
this
man
point.
can say Andy Reid is going to retire every year, and in 10 years or whatever it is, when he's finally correct, he's like, "See, I was first."
It took Andy so long to get here to win the Super Bowl, and now he's winning them. You think he's stepping away from the game? You sound crazy.
Nope.
And I'm sick of seeing the stupid bullshit about Bill Belichick's going to take over because Andy Reid. It's like, bro, Bill is older. Stop it.
Hold on,
He
we don't.
anyway.
I don't want that type of energy in our locker room too. Bill is a great coach, but Andy is a guy who lets them have fun, but keeps them like, no, you're not going to do too much. Just relearn from that bulletin board material last year. He don't play. He tells his guys and he gets on them, but he knows a grown man as well too, and that's why I like Bill. He's a great coach still, bro. Like, it's just a different way, and we argue about that a lot. And
it's changed.
Yeah, and then EB coming in house. Larry, because I think you was big about this. Larry, what you been feeling about that for real? Because the EB stuff has been out of control, and you don't like how people got mad because they felt because he gives them he holds them accountable pretty much.
Right, and I guess that goes back to having a military father and also being coach hard growing up. Like, you need someone to hold you accountable, especially when it comes to sports, because like if you should go out there lackadaisical, you're going to miss tackle, miss plays, get yourself hurt, or get somebody else hurt from a missed block. But the thing I like the most about it, like, and even Patrick Holmes mentioned it. He said, I think we took his coaching style for granted because he was always the same from talking to Andy Reid as he would be to the janitor.
Mm-hmm.
He was always the same guy. And he was like, with him being back in the building, it kind of gave us chills and it kind of took us up another notch. And it's like, that's, I understand the NFL is the pinnacle of sports and all the rest of that, but I say it every day. It still comes down to great coaching.
All right.
Like, you can have all the great players in the world, but if that coach can't put that talent together, it will not work.
All right.
Oh.
Leo's answer to stopping the run. He is the third best linebacker that can shoot the gap. Yep. I mean, Leo always, regardless of what, he might not. Yeah, he might not be a standout, but he does his job. And he made a lot of plays. We was like, oh, he did good this year. Imagine if we had prime DJ paired with Bolton. What y'all think?
I mean, I don't think we'd want them paired. I think DJ and Nick are basically the same player, and and I don't want to throw shade at Nick, but like if DJ was the linebacker versus Nick,
Nick's a true Mike.
But the way DJ shoot the gap, Andy would go up and go snatch it. Remember, DJ had 2 Achilles tears. He's super athletic, man. Like DJ,
he was great in coverage.
Going to be the like highest paid linebacker for the Chiefs, and I think all of us agree that Drew Tranquill has shown out as like the standout for the linebacking room. So if there was going to be a linebacker they pay, you would hope it would be that one. But
and he gonna get that Justin Watson type deal, and he gonna get that Justin Watson type deal too. That 2-year round 10 or something like that, where it's like it's definitely doable.
If I'm anybody else in the NFL and you saw the stats that and the type of performances Drew's playing, I don't know why you're not giving him at least a decent contract versus the like 1-year prove it deal. He's clearly proven it.
Yeah. DJ, he was better in coverage because he definitely get a lot of interceptions. He definitely can cover that middle. But Nick Bolton has gotten better. You saw him on a couple plays. Could have had a couple interceptions as well too. He's there.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we're at a standstill where they're interchangeable. Like if we switched them out, it would be the same. I think it'll be the same. We'll get the same out of both of them. What will happen? Yep. So it wouldn't be no difference. That's why I think it's more of a conversation with Drew Tranquill or Willie Gay, keeping him. And, we'll see what happens. I already know we're not having Willie, so we might as well have to let that go. Rodney, number 1 defense. Yeah, we are. Number one run defense. What does Mahomes do with the prime Debo? I could tell you a lot of things he'll do.
Hey, that boy
But we had to
Kenny
go
said,
fix.
what, 20 touchdowns or something?
Nah, I said that.
Oh,
I
you
like
did?
that. I like that. He said like 1,500 yards. So I was always.
Give him Donnie Avery or something. I'll give him over Debo.
Debo was my guy, bro. It's just he couldn't stay away from them 2 ounces of weed. Had to get pulled over in Riverside. 4 games. Come back. I don't know how you got 1,000 yards. And this is a 16-game season, y'all. So that means he had to play 12 games. And he got that in 8. Slant God.
Running slants.
Yeah.
And we'll take it to the crib.
Debo
I
in
mean-
an RPO type of offense.
He would, man, Debo, I would have loved for him just to get one just because he was like just my favorite wide receiver at that time. It was just a lot of fun, but you know, it is what it is. I know we gotta wrap this up too, man. We could talk forever, y'all. It's Super Bowl week. Having a good time.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, it looks like we've exhausted the comments, if there ever such a thing. So, Larry, you got anything else you want to tell the people before we close out and continue their Super Bowl week?
Nah, man, I'm just waiting on this dub, man. So, you know, I'm just looking forward to it.
All
You got
right,
one
you
more question.
snuck in Dexter McCluster. Okay.
Would have been different if we had.
I think we're just having the same conversation.
Yeah, if there's a McCluster at that point, he would be the same player. He would have been what McCole doing. What you seeing with McCole right now?
No,
He would
so
just been a part of success.
Tyreek Hill is what Dexter McCluster was supposed to be.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah.
All
Yep.
right. Right.
I
Transition
that.
to a wide receiver. Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Agreed.
I feel that. All right. Well, that's it. What a great way to end it. Talk about Dexter McCluster. All right.
Bang the drum.
Bring everybody back. If you were
Right.
a early 2000s to 2010s Chiefs player, you got to bring all these players back as drum honorees, just so the bandwagon fans can be like, who? And then like all of us,
Right.
like Larry and myself in the stands, take our shirts off and go ape because we haven't seen this player in like 10 years. We're glad the player's still alive and still moving around. Thanks all for joining us. And if you're watching or listening after the fact, appreciate your support. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Leave us 5 stars, rate and review, subscribe on YouTube, all that fun stuff. Don't got anything else to say. We've got plenty more editions of the Final Drive coming this week. So stay tuned again tomorrow night for another guest. But hope you all have a great rest of your week. God bless you all. As always, go Chiefs. Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom